Just wanted to know, thinking back to the Ajax game in Amsterdam, do you still think back on that in terms of that missed opportunity, and is that a wrong that you're hoping to put right tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. We look back at all the games where we didn't take any points, and that's football. It's fine margins, and if you don't maybe score a goal at the right time or complete a pass or anything like that, you can get punished at this level. And we're all really disappointed that it's put us in a situation where we can't progress to the next round. But tomorrow's an opportunity to finish the campaign on a high and get 3 points and a good performance as well.
Have you enjoyed the experience of playing these games, though? You know, putting the results to one side, but the experiences of going to Amsterdam, Naples, seeing Liverpool's training ground, has that been an experience that has really helped you this season? And do you think it's made you better as a striker?
Yeah, I've loved every minute of it, of course. Travelling away, playing games at home, and then obviously the first team game at night, seeing the level of the Champions League away from home has been amazing. And I agree, yeah, it's probably helped me in my journey. And I'm just hoping to finish the campaign on a high tomorrow, and hopefully it will put the team and myself in good stead for the rest of the season.
What was that like in Naples when you had the wee walk in the morning prior to the game itself? Was that quite a surprising experience in terms of going about and seeing the level of support that a team like Napoli gets, even at youth level?
Yeah, well, we of course knew they were a big club, and we'd obviously heard things about the club as well. But going over to Napoli and seeing the fans and how passionate they are and how much they care about their club was obviously really good. And they obviously had a good turnout for our game as well, and then the game at night as well. So it was a good experience.
Obviously, this campaign hasn't gone quite the way that anybody would have wanted, but I think that would be to talk the competition and the performances down. In terms of your own performance, have you felt, perhaps because of the concentration of the media, that it's been a real push to you to come up to the scratch line, to put in those performances? Have you felt that focus on yourself?
I wouldn't say myself or the team focus too much outside the training centre and the staff and everyone else. We focus on what we're meant to do on the pitch and everything else. So for me, not really. I know that I felt like I've done well in games, and I know that some games I could have done more to help the team, of course. But it's obviously, as you said, disappointing that it's ended in this game where we can't get the chance to go through, because I feel like games against Napoli and some of our performances prior to this is we've maybe felt or deserved the chance to go and maybe go through in the last game, but that's football, and it's just important now that we try and finish it off with a good performance and a win.
And in terms of the overall progression of yourself as a player, last year Alec Lowry was talking after his debut at Ibrox, and he said, he was incredibly nervous. And then when he actually stepped onto the pitch and the noise, he felt okay with it, that, this is what his life had prepared him for. In terms of where you are at the moment, do you think that the kind of blend of domestic football, internationals, and now this European dimension, can you feel yourself slowly being pulled up in terms of your performances?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in the right direction at the moment. I'm getting a lot of minutes on the pitch, is of course important for me. Playing against completely different levels of opposition, whereas if it's a lone league, a bit more physical for me, which is of course a big part of my game. And then if it's playing in the youth league, then I'm playing against obviously really good players and top players around the world from my age. So I've really enjoyed my journey so far this season, and hopefully I can continue to develop and see where that takes me to the end of the season.
You did obviously have that little flourish in the League Cup earlier on in the season. I just wondered if the first team manager, Giovanni Van Bronckhorst, has had little bits of advice or anything for you this season.
Yeah, well, every time I go around there, he's obviously watching me play or train and seeing how I do. But definitely, Roy Mackay being a striker, and his playing days is obviously really important, and trying to get any sort of advice off him. And then obviously and he's obviously been looking at the games, the youth league games. The first team staff have been in attendance, so definitely.
Yeah. What is Roy Mackay like? What does he do? Does he just sit with you for a little bit and go through his different drills and things like that?
It's more on the pitch. When I've trained first team, he's asking me about how things are going in the B team, and if he watches a game, he'll come up and pull me aside and say, maybe you could have done this, or this was really good, and put yourself in these situations and you can get more goals in the back of it.
Yeah, fantastic. How have you found linking up with Zach up front?
Yeah, I've loved it. You know, I'm really close with him off the pitch and on the pitch. I feel like we've got a good connection. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I know where he wants the ball to go, and I know the type of player he is. So it makes it a lot easier when you know your players. And yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and can I ask your contract situation at the club, Robbie? Have you had discussions around possibly extending that at all, or where are you with that at the moment?
At the moment, I'm just concentrating on trying to develop as much as possible and trying to keep scoring goals and getting minutes. But that's really all my focus is at the moment.